For anyone who is dissatisfied with the state of Sonic Origins and waiting on SEGA to polish it up, good news, patches are on the way. In a post from Katie Chris, social media manager for the Sonic brand, she stated that SEGA is listening and working on fixing a list of issues for the game, and that they will provide an update once more information is available. This is a relief to hear, considering that the release of Sonic Origins was met with, oh boy, controversy. Just like with Sonic Colors Ultimate, though thankfully we haven't progressed to encountering seizure glitches on the Switch version like we did with Colors Ultimate. But with this clip right here from Blue Vivacity, I'd say we came pretty damn close. Like, look at this. Sonic has an electric shield, he goes into the water, and suddenly the whole body of water goes completely white and doesn't revert back to normal. Bro, what is this? It's worth noting that since Sonic Origins launched, the game was updated once, though that update specifically targeted the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 versions, making it more or less a mini update. It was meant to address a game-breaking bug that occurred whenever anybody tried to access the online leaderboards on PlayStation. Anytime anyone did so, the game would crash, but thankfully that's been cleaned up since, and I don't believe that anything similar was encountered on the other platforms, but I could very well be wrong here. For what it's worth, I play Origins on Xbox Series S, and for the most part, my experience has been stable and certainly enjoyable. That said, I did encounter my fair share of gameplay related quirks that I'm pretty sure did not exist in the games prior to the making of Origins, and so have others. I'll start with a couple of examples taken from one of my live streams of Sonic Origins. For this clip right here, we've got the Hidden Palace Zone from Sonic 2, and I'm fighting against the boss. A really creative boss design at that, I really like it. But during the second half of it, I'm suddenly rocketed upwards and off the screen, and eventually I come back down, repeatedly attacking Eggman from the top. I watched that clip a couple times and I still cannot figure out what caused this random effect right here. I was stupefied for like about a minute or two after it happened. And then there's another one right here, where the debris continues falling from the ceiling after I trigger an effect that causes the level to shake. This is from Marble Garden Zone Act 1 in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. The only time the debris effect goes away is when I activate one of the blue circular things inside the ground that produces a set of stairs. I know I said I have a couple of clips, but I got a third one to add in. This one comes with Chemical Plant Act 2 in Sonic 2. After I beat the boss battle, I'm somehow randomly able to hit Eggman again as if the boss had not actually ended before he goes off screen. And in discovering this, I almost die because of the flipping floor panels. What in the world was that all about? I've tried to replicate that glitch since then, and I was not able to do so. Maybe it was shadow patched? You've already seen the clip from Blue Vivacity where Sonic picks up an electric shield and turns a whole body of water white after falling into it, but I got into the clip right here. This one coming in from Velcomia. You may recognize him as Sonic Central on YouTube. So what happens here is, he's in Death Egg at 1, he's in his supersonic form, and he arrives at this conveyor belt which he rides downward as if it were an elevator, and there's spikes all along the walls. Normally if you're standing still and you slide under these spikes, nothing happens, but in this clip, Sonic actually gets crushed and dies. And I can tell you right now, this did not originally happen in Sonic 3. To be absolutely certain of this, I tested it in Sonic 3 Air. And though you may be immediately skeptical because Sonic 3 Air is a fan-made port, it does come with an option that allows you to change the level layouts. What that means is, you can basically play Sonic 3 and Knuckles using Sonic 3 Air, but without any of the slight adjustments made by Sonic 3 Air. The widescreen feature aside, that is. So in doing this, I set the game to both Sonic 3 and Knuckles and Sonic 3 Air for the level layout, and then tried to replicate the scenario where Sonic got crushed by the spike beds at that same conveyor belt. And in both tests, he did not get crushed. Putting it simply, there have definitely been some weird things happening with the collision that weren't originally a thing in the Sonic classics. The issues related to Sonic Origins seem to revolve mainly around gameplay and performance. I already pointed out a handful of gameplay issues just now, but as far as performance issues go, I saw nothing of the sort on Xbox Series S. However, PC users in particular have definitely reported performance issues, such as frame rate drops when trying to play the game. and I would not have expected to hear anything like that, considering that while the classics were enhanced for widescreen play, they are still a collection of re-releases. And those games already ran perfectly fine on PC, so I would not have expected to hear anything like that for Origins. In this case though, I feel certain that it may have to do with how the game itself was coded, but I could be wrong here as I'm not an expert at this sort of thing. One more thing here I'd like to point out, though it was already addressed by SEGA themselves, well, SEGA of Japan specifically, but when you go to the soundtrack in the museum for Origins, some of the music is incorrectly listed. For example, I go to listen to Door into Summer from a Knuckles Chaotic soundtrack, and I get a different piece of music instead. I forget which one I'd heard then, but it was most definitely not Door into Summer. I think it was either Botanic Bait or Speed Slider, whichever it was. Definitely wasn't Door into Summer, but SEGA have already acknowledged this and they will be getting a fix out for it. Whenever they will is the question. Regardless, for PC and console users alike, Origins definitely released with some rough spots here and there. Not for everyone, as some did report better experiences than others. I feel I had a better experience overall, gameplay related issues aside of course, and I can't say I have all that many complaints about it honestly. But for those who weren't as lucky, I feel for them, and so I'm hoping the game gets cleaned up for everyone soon. The fact that Origins is getting patched isn't necessarily news because a handful of weeks ago we seen the PlayStation version get patched for its leaderboard bug, and SEGA also acknowledged the soundtrack thing in the museum, so it was pretty much a given that more updates would be on the way. It was just never made clear as to when they would be implemented or what the contents would entail. But I think the recent post from Katie will be more than reassuring for those who are hoping to see Origins in a much better state. Especially if the recent stories are true and SEGA did in fact rush this game out to meet its deadline, which I really hoped they would not do. I mean, I was excited for Origins much like the rest of you were, but if the game needed a little more time to bake, then SEGA should have given it that time. But at least now, they're working on getting updates out there, so this is a step. In spite of what's happening, I would not let any of this deter you from trying out Sonic Origins. It really is a fun time. Well, it was for me anyway. But if you'd rather play it safe and wait until Origins gets patched before getting it, then I completely understand. After all, this approach of releasing games now and then patching them later on when you're aware of issues before their release is getting a little tedious, and I hope SEGA rethinks this approach going into Sonic Frontiers. Thinking about Frontiers now, I'm getting slightly worried for it all over again. Can we ever get a Sonic game without its share of controversy when it releases? Please? But yeah, hang tight, help is on the way for Sonic Origins. And that should about do it for this update video. Thank you as always for watching, and I especially want to thank you guys for helping this channel reach 2,000 subscribers and 200,000 total video views. These are amazing milestones that we've hit, and I could not be more thankful for you guys for making it happen. I put a thank you message in video form the other day, so I hope you go and give that a look, and I will see you in my next upload. If you enjoyed my content, make sure to drop those likes and comments down below, and don't forget to sub and ring that bell to stay up to date. If you play Sonic Origins, what has been your experience with it? Did you find any bugs, or has it been a completely clean experience for you? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time. Until then, peace! Blue Blurs for life. Take care.